비킬 마음이 없어. 단 1%도 없었어. 진짜. 슈리도 진짜 많은 연주를 해. 정말. 연주 많이. 몰랐어. 슈리 연주 많이.
Because this one's super effective. I like it up there actually.
Yeah.
Where you have it.
No, it's good. If you're especially
Yeah.
if you're way up high,
That's too low, an octave below. But these ones are very effective for like, a little chromatic movement.
little planing.
But you want to know, you want to get these in both hands so you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use all of the voicing shapes too as melodic material for sure.
Yeah.
Kev, can we do this last? Do one more slide here, and then we'll listen to some music with some examples of this. But I also wanted to just talk about the triad pairs. We talked about triad pairs in our last duo lesson. I don't know what we're calling these videos. Duolingo lesson.
Can't call it that.
So the diminished has, and these are not all of the triad pairs for the diminished. There's a ton of triads that you can get with the diminished scale.
Yeah.
But these are some really interesting ones. Going from our minor shape, this is a little like C sharp minor, to G major, B flat minor, E major, G minor.
And just tell the good folks out here, because I didn't used to know this. What that, I mean, I actually kind of did know what it sounded like and use it, but what does that mean, triad pairs?
Well, we're just pairing up two triads and moving them down in minor thirds. This is really more like triad sextuplets or something, sextons, sexi.
Well, but you are still thinking about these two at a
I'm
time.
thinking two at a time. I do this, and then I take it down to minor.
So the triad pairs are D flat minor and G major.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess triad octs. There's 8 of them, and they're all grouped together. So these are all the triads there's not even all the triads. You could actually flip major and minor for all of these, and then there's all the different inversions that you can do with all of these. But C sharp, major and minor, G major and minor, B flat major and minor, E major and minor.
Yep.
Those are the triads that you're really going to lean into. And so this is such a good thing to know how to do, which we have an etude for more on this later. But you actually hear a lot of like mid-century pop composers using this sound in string arrangements.
Right.
Nelson Riddle loves this. You know what I mean? Like to go over a dominant chord. Stan Kenton loved that kind of sound.
I mean, the built-in voice leading is usually like, it's built in.
Yeah, it's right there. You're basically just going down that scale if you look at that. Right. The altered, we're going to use more of a traditional triad pair situation. We're going to use a triad. We already kind of hinted at this. E flat and D flat.
Yep.
Very Bill Evans-ish kind of sound. Hank Jones-ish kind of sound. Beautiful sound.
And for pianists, and
Ravel-ish sound.
yeah, definitely. Or if you're an instrumentalist or a singer or whatever, learn just some basic piano so you can do this, because these are they're great to look at on the page.
Yeah.
But they're great to look at on the keyboard. So like
Oh,
when I'm looking at these, I'm thinking of like, where's the next place I need to go within that pair? So I know I'm going to go E flat, D flat, E flat, D flat, E flat. But once you learn these, you don't have to think about like, where's the voice? The second inversion is a first, and you don't have to think about any of that. You're just thinking you're going back and forth, and you don't even have to always go back. Like you could actually do 2 of each or something later
yeah,
on.
absolutely.
But for the beginning, like the symmetry, you almost want to be able to play this before you understand it a little bit, if possible.
But you don't need to understand it other than these are the triads you can use.
Right.
For this G7 to get an altered sound. And again, melodically they work, which we have an etude for. We got an etude for that as well.
Right.
It's like,
We're gonna fix that for you. We're gonna fix
all
that
right,
for you.
let's listen to some examples. Peter, can you pull up that Eye of the Hurricane from our course Language of Masters, available at openstudiojazz.com. Become a member today, and you can see all of our Language of the Masters courses where you have the transcription and Peter and I break down. This is some great solos from the world's greatest pianists. This is from Herbie Hancock's Eye of the Hurricane. And this is, let's start right on the solo. Herbie, I don't know if you know this. Herbie is a fan of the half whole diminished scale.
He will mastered it.
He will put it
All
anywhere.
3 of them, he's mastered.
He really loves it, and we're going to see some examples of that here. Peter, if you 7.
What here? We go
You
four.
can go all 4 if you want to hear him finish the phrase. So if we look at our D flat 7, right, Herbie's going to play. This is the G half whole diminished scale.
Yeah.
Now D flat is a tritone away from our G7, and they share a third in the 7. So this is really him playing. It's, by the way, the D flat half whole diminished and the G half whole diminished.
Yeah.
Same scale.
Right. And what other ones are the same?
So that would be B flat and E are also.
Right. You can think about it as like it's the same as the cycle, a diminished cycle.
Right.
There's 4 that are always the same. There's only 3, and there's 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 keys. So you can see one thing you can always remember is like this one, the tritone away are always the same.
It's always the same for diminished harmony.
Yeah.
So he goes all the way up. He does this little turn here, and then on the C7, what does he do? He goes up a C half whole diminished scale on the C7. So he hits the G for the and then the C. Isn't that great?
Yeah, and he's already kind of hinting at like some advanced applications of this that aren't as advanced as they don't have to be as out of reach as you might
He's
think.
kind of feeling his way through it, yeah.
Yeah, but like he's not doing a cookie cutter symmetrical song. First of all, he's kind of building it off of the G, right?
Yeah.
But he's still on the previous D flat or G.
Well, look at
And
Max.
even as it bleeds over.
Max Gamise, our transcriber here, has, look what's in the left hand, there's like a C and an F.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, might be just for effect. Peter, I wonder if you could slow that down to like 60% and play
Yeah.
that section again so we can hear it kind of slow. Yes, man, so good. He's got that.
Yeah, that's the part of the lesson, but I like that part too.
So this is Herbie using the diminished scale to great effect, and he does it a couple times later in this solo too.
Yeah.
Peter, I wonder if you could bring up that Kenny Kirkland on
Oh,
Solars
yes,
so that we
sir.
can hear an example
Okay.
of a master dealing with the altered
Because we
scale.
see it and then we hear it.
안녕하세요. 저는 평범한 아이셋 엄마에서 2주 2천만 원 매출을 내고 있는 헬로 하이디입니다.
A master dealing with the altered
Because we
scale.
see it and then we hear it.
That's our good friend Rick. I think this is slowing down a little bit. Okay, stop. So right here, first example. Right, so that A flat 7, that is the A flat altered scale, right? He's definitely implying that A minor, that A melodic minor ascending.
Right.
That is classic altered. Yeah.
There you go.
And there's another one there on the C7, right? Yeah,
That's all altered, right?
that's all altered. Yep.
And some of these you start to kind of notice because like what are they skipping in?
Yeah.
So he's coming right, of course, hip rhythm, great swing. He's skipping over the F sharp.
Yeah, but this is a classic altered line here, starting on the sharp 9. Yeah.
Variation.
So we've already seen a couple of examples. Great examples.
Let me just show that this is an example of it over here on the bar 22. Like that's an example of no diminished, no altered. Like a 2-5-1. Yeah, just straight diatonic on the target chord of that D flat major. And the thing about that is like you might start to think, oh, Kenny Kirkland and Herbie, they're using these like all the time. But what's cool is when you use them and then you don't use them and you
don't want to use too much turmeric.
exactly, yeah, exactly. You want to go cumin sometimes. Let's just take that back. It's there, then he kind of jumps back on it. of like very diatonic, like F major, and then minor, like the timing of when you start to throw these in. There's no rules for it. There's the affectation it has on the music that's so cool when you slip in and out of this stuff.